Well, hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, part 3 of my Moroccan garden tea party, I'll be sharing with you the first set of 4 DIY projects that I'm doing for this party. If you're interested in how I'm putting them all together, stay tuned. Okay, ready to start one of my Moroccan tea party projects right here. So, in case you saw my video where I did a TV cabinet, you may remember that I ended up having to redo my doors. It's kind of a funny thing. I first made them with this, and then when I put the stain on, they got like a little bow to them. This is what I call a project board, where actually pieces of wood have been laminated together. It's something you can buy at Lowe's and Home Depot and places like that. And the idea is that, you know, they're great for projects. So I thought, oh my God, I gotta redo it. I ended up putting this aside after I already had stained them and all that. And I got new wood and I made new doors. Well, come to find out, they straightened right back up, which I suspected might happen because I had used these project boards on this other cutting board that I made a while back. And those also do that. When I get them all wet, they get all bowed and then they straighten out on their own. So go figure. So anyway, so now I have these 4 of the doors. They're actually a little thicker. And you know me, I don't like to throw things away. I figure, how can I repurpose this? And I had a thought. My thought was, you know, this may be a fun kind of like long kind of tray to put kind of food on for the party. And because they're black, you know, they kind of go with everything, and they've been stained. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 of them. My table is about 8 feet long. I don't remember, something along those lines. So I'll probably have, you know, for 2. I have 4 of these, so I still have to figure out what to do with the other 2. But with this 2, I think I'm going to use them for that. But of course, I have to Moroccanize them. The first thing I did, of course, is I took the hinges out. As you can see, I painted it after. No, but I did it. So take the hinges out. And then this is what's going to happen. A long time ago, I had done my room, my master bedroom, and I had done the stencil on the walls, and I'll put a picture here of that, how that turned out. So I had bought this set of stencil. It was actually, this is the smaller version. It came with 2 different ones. It came with this and another one that is really large scale. The large scale one is the one I did it all on the wall behind my bed, and that's the one in the picture. But this one I used for a small little table that I did. And I thought this one probably would work pretty good. As you could see, I could probably fit 3D sides across like that. And basically that will give me that kind of Moroccanized kind of look to it. It's a little oversized, so that will make it a little bit modern. So that'll be kind of fun. I'll probably do it with just white chalk paint, nothing super fancy. And it doesn't have to be super dense. It could be a little bit kind of, you know, soft. So that's what's happening there. And then for the handles, I went on Amazon looking for something that would work. And I found I wanted to have the legs and feet sort of kind of go together. They're not the same. Of course, on Amazon, this doesn't look as beige as they are. They're a lot more beige. But, you know, again, these are going to be here. And these are going to be the feet. So these are going to be basically they're just knobs, and they were pretty inexpensive, and I've got 4 of each for each one. So that's going to be that, and that's going to be the feet. So it's going to be like a little tray with feet. But again, because I can never leave well enough alone, I wanted to do something for the edges. So I thought, maybe like a nail head trim. And I was able to find this. It comes like this. You know, I've had this, in fact, I might have some leftover from before. Probably not the same color, but that I've used before, and it comes in a big roll. This is actually kind of better because it's a little bit more, you know, you could use it probably a little bit more often. The other one you kind of have to, sometimes it doesn't fall where you want it to. But anyway, the idea is that, you know, you put it on the edging, and it gives it kind of that nail head trim look, and you only put the tacks, you know, where they go, which is a lot easier than putting every single tack by hand, which I think I tried to do that one time, and it's a pain. For them to come out straight, it's a pain. So that is what's happening here. So if you want to see how that turns out, stay tuned for that. Okay, so I've gathered here my materials. I got my stencil. I'm gonna use this little plate to put some of the paint on it. I'm gonna use this chalk paint that I have on Snow White. Of course, some tape. And I think I'm gonna use my natural sea sponge to kind of have a more natural kind of look. Instead of like a cellulose, which sometimes it gives you kind of the hard edges. I wanted to have more organic kind of touch to it. So I think we're ready to go. I'll put some gloves and then we can get started. Okay, the first thing is to figure out my design, right? So I'm gonna find my center. I have here 32 and a half. So that'll be 16 and a quarter, right? 16 and a quarter. So 16 and a quarter is gonna be my center line. So I'm gonna put it right here. 16 and a quarter. So I know that the center of the stencil is going to be right there. And then of course I'm going to center this design as well, because as you can see it is too big to fit anyway. Okay, so let's start taping this down. Can you see my mark because it's down there? Okay, I put a little bit of my chalk paint and I'm going to water it down because, as you know, you need very little in your stenciling. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water. Give it a good mix. The other thing I probably will do, I might even use the paper that I put down just to offload the brush a little bit, or sometimes even another plate is a good thing to use for that. Here we go, just do that. And chalk paint is so thick, you definitely want to water it down a bit. But it's great coverage though when you want it to cover fast. Okay, so I'm going to put the other plate that I have here for my offloading, as they say. And the other thing is good to water your sponge too, especially if you're using a natural sponge. Because otherwise it's super stiff. Let's give it a go and see what it looks like. Okay, I think they're dry enough. I touched up here and there. I think it's time to protect them. I'm gonna use this polyacrylic because I bought it and I have it. It's ready to go. I went ahead and put it in a clean cup because, you know, it's better to pour it out of the jar so you don't get any impurities in it from doing your project. Okay, so that did not work too well. I noticed that it was pulling the paint, even though I thought, I mean, it could be just that it looks that, but it looked like it was smearing the paint, even though it should have been pretty dry because it is chalk paint which dries super fast and it was very diluted. So I don't want to take the risk. So I'm going to do a different kind of finishing method. I have some wax. I'm going to try that. Okay, so take two. I'm going to use some of this finishing wax, which I've used before for many things. And hopefully this will work. I'm letting the other one dry. So this is the second board. And it's basically like just like what you use for a car. You know, you wax, you put it on and then you take it off. Remember, wax on, wax off. That's basically what it is. Running low, as you can see. Okay, so it's wax. It dries pretty fast. Now you polish it. So with another clean rag, and I have some old napkins here, I'm just gonna polish it again, just like you would polish a car once you've done the waxing. Well, here's a little update on this tray issue. If you recall, I did the sponging and I was gonna put things like that. And then the second one didn't come out too even and I tried to redo it, and it's one of those things that, see, I kind of messed it up there. You try to fix it and you make it worse. I decided I don't like it, the same way I need to do it again. So I took the other side, stained it to kind of start new, and then I had a thought. my concern is like, I mean, this thing that I put here especially is very smelly, so which makes me think it's very toxic. So this is not even food safe. I said, well, what if I use the same tile that I'm gonna put on my stepping stones out there? Then it'll be food safe. I even have some oil too for making something food safe. And I like this a lot better as a tray. Now, I don't have room to put them like this unless I want to drill that through that. I'm gonna put them like that. And I'm still gonna put the little legs on them. So how about them apples? I kind of like that better. Just means I have to get 8 more tiles. These are like 240 something. They're not too bad. So, and they're just dusty from, you know, from the store, but so that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna glue them on. I'm not gonna go fancy. I'm just gonna do it with a good construction adhesive, and yeah, and tomorrow I'll do the rest of the adhesive stuff. Okay, so I glued the tiles on my board and I put a weight on them and I let them dry so they're all nice and stuck in there. One word of caution though, I mean, when I got these tiles, they were a little powdery. I thought that was just powder that was gonna clean up, but they have something. I mean, they were so, I don't know what the hell that is. That might be like a little, I tried anyway. I tried a bunch of different things. This one I spend more time cleaning. And some of these little things do not come off. So that was a little disappointing. But again, this is just gonna go on the garden, on the floor, and on the table briefly. So it's not like a precious, you know, it's not going in my kitchen or anything like that. But be careful with things like this because sometimes, you know, they are not perfect and sometimes it's an intentional thing. But if you don't like that kind of a thing where things don't get as, you know, sharp wire and things like that, you may not like it high like this. Anywho's, I'm moving forward. The next step is to attach the handle. And I'm going to use, I think, the same adhesive that I use for the tiles, which is this one's pretty strong. And I'd rather use this kind of new. Because if you leave these things there for a while, these two things, they go bad. So I figure I might as well finish this. So that's my next step. And then after that's set, I'll turn them upside down and I'll put the legs on. Okay, unfortunately that glue didn't work. I have had a feeling that it might happen. So I'm gonna reconsider maybe putting them on top here. Because if they do fit, that is definitely the best way to attach them. You know, I might just do that. I like them on the side, but then that's gonna make them always pop out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do that. I think this one as well. I was gonna try E6000, but I think the same thing's gonna happen. I want it to be functional handles because these things are heavy and then, you know, it's hard to pick up when you don't have a handle on them. So yeah, change of plans there. Okay, installing this is always tricky for me. So I'm trying this new trick. I kind of put tape and I'm gonna see with the tape down, you know, after I measure kind of what the center is, hopefully trying to keep it all centered and getting the holes in the right places. Okay, so I put my little thing. It just so happens that this aligns with that. I should have figured that out first. So now let me drill the holes. Hopefully I get this right. That's how this goes up. Okay, there it is. Okay, both of these are on. Now I'm gonna worry about the feet. Initially I was gonna glue them, but based on my not great luck gluing lately, I'm going to see if I can actually screw them, you know, and then I have like a little bit of you know, some of that nail head trim. I think I put like a little dot there so it'll look intentional because it'll be right in the little corner. So I think that should work. Let's try that. Okay, so the legs are on. Oops, yep. And I feel confident. They're all screwed, so they're nice and sturdy. So now the last part is to do the nail head trim and to cover my little holes in this corner. So, get excited for this part. I have no idea whether I have enough, but this is what I'm gonna use. If you want to nail trim anything, they're from Amazon. They were not that expensive. So now let's do the side. Same dealio. Okay, I finished it all around. I finished right there, so I'm gonna have to glue that little last part because of course I wasn't lucky enough and in a place where I could put a tag. But there's one like there, but again, that could be problematic later. So now and look how much I had left over. I have quite a bit left over. I still have to do the second tray as well. So now to finish that, what I need to do is actually cut the actual nail part, and there will be like a little cap, and I'll be able to glue it right where the screws are and kind of hide those. So here we go. It should be pretty. See? Now we got a little tag to put in there. Okay, getting started here with my next project for my Moroccan dinner party. Oh, I'm sorry, Moroccan tea party. So I've had these chargers for a long time. And, with time I've been, fixing them, but because, they got damaged or something, I've just been spray painting them gold, and it's just not the same as gold leaf. To show you, this is sort of actually there's the price too. It's made in Italy from a place called Mervin's, if you remember that store. But you can see what a difference the beauty is, that leafing, especially when it's kind of crackle and all that. Anyway, so I want to kind of take it back to its original glory, which is the gold leafing. So I went ahead and got some sizing, some gilding adhesive from Amazon. Of course, it looked a lot bigger on the picture on Amazon when I was buying this. And I also bought some gold leaf. And I don't think I went for the most expensive one, but I've used it I think I used it for Christmas to do some stuff. It's not bad. It's kind of a nice one. So I'm going to be doing that. And if you ever done gold leafing, it's so fun because it's a little bit magical kind of process. And it's super easy. I mean, you basically apply the adhesive, let it dry, and like it tells you the instructions, if it's clear, it's ready for gilding, and you just apply the gold leaf and it takes it any which way it can. So I'm going to get started with that. The only thing, it's a messy project because the little gold flakes fly everywhere. So be aware of that. And then I'll see, I have 8 of these, so I don't know if I have enough of both, but we can get started and see how far we can go. But of course, the first thing is make sure I give this a real good clean. I'm just going to use some Windex to do that. And then I'm going to protect my surface because, like I said, the flakes go wild. Tricky how to pick it up. It's better to pick it from the tissue. They stick together really easily. And I'm going to try using this brush to kind of work it in. Okay, I finished gilding all my plates, all 8 of them. As you can see, they're pretty shiny, so I'm gonna look into, I know sometimes you can put like a different kind of coating on top before you put the sealer, because I could see that they would be very delicate, and this is not something you want to, of course, be rough with when you wash anyway. But yeah, it's gonna have a nice sealer, and I think, if I miss any spots, I'll catch them tomorrow. See, it looks like I missed a spot there in terms of glue. Here and there, you kind of miss spots you don't realize, but I'll catch this later. Fortunately, I still have a lot of gold leaf left, so I'm pretty happy with that. So that will be the next step. Okay, so I decided to try this antique wax product that I have from Waverly to see if it can give me the antiquing that I'm kind of looking for. And then I'm gonna work on the sealer later. But let's see how this goes first. Okay, well, as you can see, sorry about the lighting, it's not the best right now, but it is quite different. It's definitely a warmer gold. Okay, one more project I want to try, it's a bit of a bonus project, is to hang some drapery on this part of the pergola right here. I've always wanted to do it, but I've never done it. And I happen to have these panels that I use in my bedroom, so I change them a lot. They're washable, so they're only going to be here for a short time. So I want to put like one panel and kind of gather it, one panel and gather it. See how I like it. And I thought of getting like a curtain rod, but I decided to go cheaper. And again, gotta use what I have, right? So I have this really good wire that I use for over there to hang a pendant. So I think I'm just gonna hang it on this. And one of the, what did I buy? The light kits that I bought had this great little hooks, and I think that's all I need. I am gonna pre-drill, so it's easier to do that, but let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 panels in here. I think I'm gonna face him this way. I hook up one side and I cut it to make sure I have enough. Show you what it looks like here. And now I'm gonna gather them on the pole. I'm gonna find something to use, not sure yet. Okay, for tie backs, I could do so many things. I could do ribbon. So I went looking to see what I had. In terms of cording, I have some of this Dollar Tree nautical rope, which I've never used. I only have one pack of it. Not sure it will be enough for both sides, but that's an option. I also have this, which I think came with one of the canopies or something. I don't know. And then I have this. This actually, believe it or not, came from a vintage suitcase that I kind of converted into a chair. I don't know if it's too rustic for this, but it would be kind of a cute tie back actually. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. If I can find some cute tassels. I went ahead and added an extra panel here on the side. Tied them together, and I added some little Moroccan lanterns in the middle. And I'm still debating whether I want to add a little bit more drapery over there before getting to the main canopy. Okay, it's time for my next project, which is going to be to do some tiling on this boring pavers that I have here. And I'm going to do them in place because I already spent the time setting them and all that. So I'm just gonna brush up, make sure there's no dirt on them. And I already mixed my my mortar. I happen to have some old mortar, and we're gonna use this. And these are the tiles I'll be selling. The same ones I use for the tray. And they happen to fit perfectly, pretty much, 2 side by side. So that works out great. And then I'm not gonna grout or anything because it's literally just that. So let's get started. turned out that I was short one, which was sort of a blessing in disguise, because while I was considering what to do, I ended up putting one diagonal like that on the square ones. Saying, oh, there you go, that's what you do with the square ones.